Good afternoon, fight fans. It has been a long while. Welcome back to Coffee with the Champ. I am your host, Coach Dale. And it has been a long time, but I'm glad to be back. First and foremost, a couple of things before we start. I don't have a guest on the show today. Reason being, I was having some technical problems. Anybody that knows me knows that IT is not one of my strong points. So graciously, I had a gentleman help me, which I'm totally grateful for, and I really appreciate it. With that being said, I don't know how many of you can see it. Hopefully you can. In the back of me, there is a picture here. I don't know if you can make it out, but a gentleman by the name of Dennis Perry did that for me. It took him a good 5 hours to do. And it was an amazing job that he did. I really appreciate the time and effort. If it wasn't for him encouraging me to, go back on the air, I probably would have just, procrastinated, so forth and so on. But with that being said, Dennis, I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Words cannot express the gratitude that I have for you of making me this picture. If anybody wants Dennis to do any work for him, for them, just let me know, and I'll pass it on to him. And if he can do it, this is a possession that I really treasure. So with that being said, welcome back, fight fans. I missed you guys a lot. Glad to be back. Let's talk about some fights that I missed, and we'll just go from there. Let's pick up where we left off. We had some. Let's talk about the Benavidez fight and Caleb Plant, which happened a few weeks ago. Great fight. Caleb Plant is a gutsy, good fighter. Showed a lot of heart. Showed a lot of determination against the Mexican monster. David Benavidez is somebody to be reckoned with. I was always under the impression with him and Canelo fighting, my ideology at that time was Canelo needs to fight him now. And the reason why Canelo needs to fight him now is this young man is only getting better. He's only getting stronger. He's only getting wiser in the sweet science. And if you wait too long and try to wait him out, it's not going to be good. It's going to be a tough fight. If Canelo fights him now and is able to maybe catch him making mistakes, setting traps, using Canelo's experience to Benavidez's inexperience, it would be beneficial for him. But who knows? We'll have to see about that fight. Another fight that just happened recently is Lomachenko and Haney. Great fight. Little controversy. You can go either way. You can watch it with the volume on. You can watch it with the volume off. It all depends on what you like. Allow me to say this, though. I remember years ago, many years ago, two great middleweights fought. The late marvelous Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard. And Sugar Ray was the champion. Marvelous Marvin Hagler was the champion. And Sugar Ray Leonard was the challenger. And all during that fight, where Sugar had his moments of, shoe shining and what have you, showboating and stuff like that, truly Marvin was the aggressor, and at the end of that event, it was awarded to Sugar Ray Leonard. Now, I mean, how much can you take off of that fight and put it into the Lomachenko and Haney fight? I mean, who was the aggressor? Who was the champion? I was always told in order to be the champion, you have to be the aggressive, effective pressure and all that stuff like that. But as we saw on the scorecards, which is questionable, the bout was given to Haney. If there's so much controversy in that, then why not, the old expression goes, why not run it back? Which I think they should. But, that's just my opinion. And, the world is waiting to see if they'll do that or whatever the case may be. So we'll see about that. But I want to talk about so far so good, Bud Crawford and Errol Spence. This is a fight that must happen this year. I've always said that. And it had to happen this year because it's just too much on the line. You have two great fighters. You have two fighters at the peak of their career, and there can only be one. Taking nothing away from Errol Spence, his ability. I remember him and Crawford were meeting somewhere, and Bud had mentioned to him that Errol had said, excuse me, as soon as you get a title, I'll fight you. And of course, we know that Crawford got the WBO title, and he didn't fight him. And Errol's made a statement of, well, as soon as I knock out Sean Porter. Well, we know that didn't happen. The fight went the distance, and if it wasn't for the knockdown, you could have won either way in that fight. You could even have given it a draw, but Errol Spence got the victory. And then you take but Crawford and Sean Porter, and we all saw what happened in that fight, and which will be a climactic, will bring a crescendo to this championship that's going to happen. Hopefully, I think they have a date of July the 29th. The world will be buzzing. I can't wait for the press conferences and the tours, and I'm just hoping the fight, the hype doesn't outlive the fight. But with these two, I think it'll be an exciting time. You may have a Hearns and Leonard all over again. We'll see. And finally, last thing I want to talk about, this is an impromptu show, the heavyweight division, as at this point in time, you have Usyk and you have Fury, the two title holders. And then you have Deontay Wilder and you have Anthony Joshua. Fury did something, it's funny, and it's just my opinion, and it's called lowballing. And what you do, especially if you're a champion and you just may not be too sure about your ability to get another opponent who's also victorious and a title holder, you lowball them. And in lowballing, basically what that does, you give him a purse thinking he'll never take that purse. And then you could come back and say, well, I tried to offer him the fight purse, he wouldn't take it. And it basically relieves you from being a villain. Well, here's the problem with that. Usyk took the 30%. And I don't think Fury was expecting that. I think it caused him to scramble and to do some damage control and to say why the fight couldn't materialize. I don't think he was banking on Usyk taking him up on his offer. That shows you something about the mentality of Usyk, his ability to rise to the occasion. And let me say this. Deontay Wilder was probably the hardest punching opponent Fury ever faced. And I'm going to choose my words very carefully here because sometimes people get offended or they don't understand the context of what you're saying. But as far as ring IQ is concerned, Usyk will be the hardest opponent Fury would have to face as far as ring IQ. And what he lacks in size, he's going to make up in that ring IQ. And when you have a person that ring IQ is on the same level, or if not a little higher than yours, it'll start to make you think you may have bitten off more than you can chew. But I hope that fight comes to fruition because I really want to see that fight. I'm thinking, hey, why not Wilder and Joshua? And then the winner of that fight can fight the winner of Usyk and Fury if that fight ever materializes. And I'm going on record saying I'm picking Usyk. Now, one fight I did miss, I'm sorry about that, Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia. I picked Ryan in that fight, not because he was the bigger puncher than Tank Davis. I thought he would have a little more ring savvy or a little more ring IQ, especially if the agreement was to, come in at a catch weight. He couldn't go above or whatever the case may be, which is a ploy to, drain him or whatever the case may be. I was thinking, well, he still, if he does drain, he still has his height, he still has his reach, and if he can box, he can keep Tank in the center of the ring, basically keeping him off balance with his jab, turning him, and not so much going for the knockout, but outpointing him. When you're a young man like Ryan Garcia, when he's young, he's 23 years old, to put that kind of pressure on yourself to say that you're going to knock out Tank Davis, that's too much pressure. Nobody can't tell me that when the second round came and went and Tank was still there, something didn't replay in his mind to say, I knew I should have got him out of there, or he didn't get out of there, or I wasn't a man of my word. Since the sport, I believe, is 80% or 90% mental and 10% physical, the mentality of it, or the psychological aspect of it, probably came into play. And with that being said, he came up short. But sometimes, even in losing, there's victory. For the simple fact of this, it's good that Ryan lost early in his career like this, and now he's aligned himself up with Errol Spence's trainer. Let's see if that's a good fit. I'm always concerned when I see fighters switching trainers one after another. Sometimes you have to look at the situation and say, well, he left this trainer, he left this trainer, he left this trainer. Sometimes it's not the trainer, it's the pupil. So maybe with this loss, Ryan has matured. He'll be back in the gym. Any issues or outside distractions, he's put those on the back burner. He's moving up in weight, and let's see what happens. It'll be interesting to see where his career goes from here. He's still a talented young man. I think he has a lot more to learn, and if he's disciplined and he's willing to put in that time, I think he will give a good account for himself. Fight fans, I didn't have a guest today, as you can see. Just getting back on the air. I was kind of a little skittish. Hopefully I can do this every Saturday. I know it's Sunday. I was supposed to do it yesterday, but once again, technology and myself, it's like oil and vinegar. We don't go well together. But with that being said, I'm going to post this up on YouTube, on my channel, Coffee with the Champ. Hit like and subscribe to my channel. Let's talk boxing. And let me just make one thing perfectly clear. I have a knowledge of boxing, like everyone does. I am not a know-it-all. I have my opinions. You have your opinions. Let's respect one another's opinion on this channel. Let's agree to disagree. But let's just talk boxing. You know, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I have called some fights where I was spot on, and on the swinging of the pendulum, I've missed some fights which I thought I should have been spot on. But it's great to be back on the air. Please hit like and subscribe to my channel. I want to bring you the best in boxing talk. Hopefully, you can have some suggestions. You may want to see things on the show, or maybe see if I can reach out to a special guest. If you look at my channel, I've had guests on my show before that I didn't think I'd get in contact with, but God was gracious to me and giving me the ability to reach out to people. So with that being said, thank all of you for tuning in. Look forward to being back on next Saturday. And let's have a good time. Let's talk boxing. I welcome your opinions. I welcome your comments. And Lord willing, next week I will be back on Saturday. Until then, take care. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a wonderful Memorial Day. Remember those that have paid the ultimate price for our freedom. And let's remember them and their families, and enjoy that day with them. Thank you, and take care.